Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the Astral. Wanted to just go over this last week. This last week's been kind of crazy. I would say this is the most busiest week of disclosure, UFO activity so far this year in 2026, and it really hasn't been close. So got my AirPods in. Check out this case, man. Had to pick this up. I don't know if anybody else got this problem, but if I see like aliens or UFOs on something, I'm basically gonna buy it, whatever it is. So yeah, it's just it's kind of like these R2D2s that I have. I have a huge collection of R2D2s, like hundreds of R2D2s that I've just collected over. Same thing with the aliens now, apparently, and UFOs. So shout out to the Canes. They won the Stanley Cup tonight. So been to a couple games this year. Really fun time. Cool team to watch too. So shout out to the Canes. So Carolina Hurricanes winning the Stanley Cup. I was going to jump over to my page and just kind of review some of the clips that were going on in the beginning of the week, just because it's been such a busy week and a lot of interesting things have happened from, Disclosure Day coming out. I have a recent review on Disclosure Day, to the David Grusch press conference in DC in front of the Capitol, to even today on Sunday, a UAP Scientific Advisory Council has been formed with Avi Loeb heading it up. So a lot of stuff that seems to be going on that coincides also with David Grusch, what he was talking about a few weeks ago in an interview. He said the next 16 to 90 days we're going to ramp up and be really, really interesting for disclosure. So far this week it's hit on a lot of different interesting events that are happening within the topic. So let me go ahead and jump over to my page and bring it up. So I started out with the expectation, because we didn't have the UFO Files, that wouldn't it be cool for a Disclosure Day to release on Friday and the UFO Files would drop at the same time? Like, oh man, that'd be kind of crazy timing. It seems to actually have maybe lined up a little bit along the way, but that was my forecast for the week going in. So I was like, all right, that would be cool for the week. So starting out on like Monday, Tuesday, we're looking at the Grusch conference. This is Tuesday, the 9th. So June 9th. And, it was cool to see the community showing up there, the support. A lot of people were covering it. So a lot of different perspectives, but I think just one of the things coming up, I'll play the clips.
Or permanent immunity, and if they are able to divulge, our next call to action will be that we are meeting with the White House. We are requesting that whistleblowers receive temporary immunity or permanent immunity, and if they are able to divulge whether it is locations of craft and or advanced technologies. As you know, this is something that we are all wanting to know the truth on, and again, without your cooperation we wouldn't have been where we are at today, and so thank you.
So that's the play. Generally, I think that Congress is going to go forward to try and get not necessarily the UAP Disclosure Act, but the most important thing I think from that was these whistleblower protections of people feeling like comfortable enough that they can come forward without risking anything, their personal well-being, their job status, classified status, their access, whatever that may be. There seems to be a lot of whistleblowers in the background that just are looking to come forward and need some more protections put into place. So a lot of this was not only, talking about what Grusch was mentioning, but trying to get these whistleblower protections put into place. This is a good quote right here with Grusch.
What I would consider, I certainly don't have the compendium. It's a continuum from corporeal bipedal type life to what I would consider like sentient plasmoid life, but there are several that the U.S. government is aware of.
There it is right there. So that's the quote where basically Grusch is saying there's Our government knows about different kinds of alien life, different kinds of non-human intelligence, from the bipedal or the ones that are, looking humanoid-like, to sentient plasmoid intelligent life. So, Grusch does a lot of things in there. He overcomplicates a lot of it, probably due to his nature of how he's been dealing with a lot of this stuff, of being very technical about it. So it's really tough to kind of piece together. He talked about slush funds of billions of dollars. I think Congress, that should come on a lot of people's radar of investigating that stuff. So I think we'll just go and see what a lot of the stuff is that's actually going to come about for this investigation from what Grusch says. It's unfortunate because I think a lot of the stuff that I think about with whistleblowers who have already testified in Congress, so these guys have already come forward and testified in front of Congress, is it seems like the noteworthy soundbite stuff that everybody's clipping and sharing that they're saying publicly is not exactly what they brought to the table when they were testifying in front of Congress. Maybe they learned about it, but I would think that anything that Grusch has learned in terms of the legacy program, like that Grusch has worked in or was working on in his official capacity, was in the past. So it doesn't matter what he's learned in the past 5 years or whatever new, because anything that had any importance at all was when he was working in the actual program. So I would think if there's anything that he's bringing out after the congressional hearing, that would be additional important information that wouldn't have brought. So I always just question, like, why wasn't it brought up in the congressional hearing? The same thing with the Matthew Sullivan is, if this was such an important circumstance where Matthew Sullivan was going to come forward and testify in front of Congress and was part of the legacy program. This guy was in the UFO legacy program, working on whatever it was, working on the craft or alien bodies or whatever. And he was going to come forward and testify in front of Congress, and then mysteriously dies. And then you have the opportunity to bring it up in front of Congress to start the investigation and make it a point of emphasis to say, hey, this guy we were just in communication with this guy, and he was going to come in and testify in the next couple hearings. And then he mysteriously dies when he was about to come in contact with you. You need to investigate this case, but nobody mentions it. And Lou Elizondo and Grusch both have sort of pointed to this case as something now it's paid attention to. Well, it's too late. How are they going to investigate it now when it's 3 years removed, and any way that we could have brought it on congressional record to start a real investigation? Like, I honestly don't know if saying it under oath in a congressional hearing about Matthew Sullivan and the situation would matter more than just saying it on Megyn Kelly or at a press conference in DC. Like, is that going to have the same level of reaction with official investigation of holding people accountable for anything that happened? I don't know. So that's one of the things about a lot of the congressional hearing and the whistleblowers that have come forward and actually testified. And then afterwards, same with Dylan Borland, like this Rubik's Cube thing. Like, bring that forward in a congressional hearing. The official program that I worked on was called Rubik's Cube, instead of having this like dog and pony show of bringing it out in a UFO conference. It just doesn't make sense of why you wouldn't bring it when you had, like, everybody's worked for the opportunity for the whistleblowers to come forward publicly in front of Congress. Why wouldn't you reveal that type of information and then wait to reveal it later publicly in a UFO conference? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So that's one thing that I think has frustrated me with a lot of this controlled disclosure process, where we're playing this game where you know, we want people to come forward and do all the congressional things and like play this game, but now we're not like actually bringing forward the most important information that we feel like afterwards we're getting. So that's one of my frustrations about the kind of current process. Leslie Keane comes out.
Intelligence and Defense Committee. Having served for decades on the staff of Congressional Intelligence and Defense Committees, Kurt McConnell, who is standing here today in the back, he was present in classified settings when highly credible sources briefed senators, including Marco Rubio, about recovered non-human bodies. Having served for decades on...
So she's saying that Kurt McConnell, who we have known about publicly being involved in the topic for some time, a couple of years, that I've known about him for a couple of years, but just kind of stayed in the background. And this event was put on by Leslie Keane and James Fox in the front of the Capitol, with the main person addressing things was David Grusch, but there were also speakers involved in it. But what she was saying was Kurt McConnell was involved in classified briefings with Marco Rubio about alien bodies. Like, okay. So that was just there were a lot of things that were mentioned in here. And here's Burleson. I think if anybody had, Burleson keeps kind of impressing me of the topic, because he stays neutral to the topic, but he also seems very motivated to like investigate this and like get down to the bottom of things, like whatever it is. And he's not quick to like make conclusions on what he's finding. And I think he's very still skeptical and reserved to go there and say, we've got aliens here, we've got UFO back engineered technology. And it's just interesting to see that from the person that, to me, is investigating this and has the most access to anybody who would be able to start doing this. And he's got Grusch as his personal advisor. So you always have to think about that. So his speech was very motivational, and it was very energetic and passionate about the topic. And he seems to just be like, he's in it. He's like, I'm investigating this shit. What's funny about this clip, though, I had to laugh, is like in the background, Luna, I think, is standing behind him, and like you could just see her hair. So it looks like Burleson has this like hair flowing around. But I'll put the clip.
And admitted that this event was true. We've held hearings. We've reviewed Russian and Brazilian records, including a formal FBI inquiry into the 96 Varginha incident, where witnesses alleged the Brazilian military captured non-human entities and craft and buried the truth. Today, Aldo Rebelo, who was the Ministry of Defense at the time, came forward and admitted that this event was true. We've held hearings.
That's interesting. And that was something new that I hadn't heard. And apparently was a developing story that happened that day. Was the former defense administrator was confirming the Virginia alien recovery of craft and bodies. And the next day after, there was a Jesse Michaels episode which went in. I hadn't watched the episode yet, but they have him on, like they're talking and interviewing. So it's good. Jesse Michaels is crazy with the timing that he has on some of this stuff. It's wild. Probably coordinated. I would say in some sense, like all of this stuff seems just super coordinated this whole week. Let me just say, which it should be. It's cool. It you know, how coordinated it is of somebody like themselves pulling the strings. I don't think it is. I think it's just like a bunch of people lining stuff up when they know some shit's about to go down. I think that more than anything is, and then there's like some talk of like, hey, where I'm going to have this guy on, I'm going to reveal this is what he said. And then publicly breaking things and like letting people, you know, have that sort of lane of breaking it and then reacting to the story. I think there's a lot more coordination than people think there is. So just with that. This is where Grusch was asked about the alien bases, I think.
Quite a few, several dozen. So that's an ongoing list. So can't give you an exact number because I didn't even have full access to that information. Several dozen. Yes. Yeah.
Bottom line, we got to.
Grusch is funny. we just need Grusch to do like a one-on-one interview, like a question and answer for like an hour. Imagine if Grusch just did a question and answer for an hour. How cool that would be for us to do that. Just to have that information. Let me see.
In my official duties, I was exposed to human and signals intelligence information concerning foreign adversary, UAP crash retrieval, exploitation and study efforts, adversary views on U.S. legacy program reverse engineering efforts, and U.S. held audiovisual information related to crash retrieval matters, such as the recovered vehicles and the associated biological material. In my official duties, I was exposed to human and signals intelligence information.
So that was an important distinction there. And I think one that should be very much noted, that in his official capacity, he was seeing all this stuff. Not only evidence of, crash retrieval program, crash retrieval technology, non-human intelligence technology, and biologics, but that foreign adversaries were studying and like investigating this stuff on their own. So we were getting spied on. These programs were getting spied on, and they knew they were getting spied on. So that's pretty wild to think about, is that it was a super secret program, but you would imagine that Russians, Chinese, like all of these other countries would be trying to stay, if we have the technology, but you would also think that they would have some stuff too. That's one of the things that you think about from time to time, is the international, like why the U.S. has so much of a dominance of a control, it seems, on the UFO topic, and the disclosure, the development of it going forward. Tough to say. Would like to see people's comments on that, if anybody wants to comment on that. All right, let's jump back to the clips here. Again, this is just one event. This was a great event. I thought it was really cool. It was a super short event. Look, I made an art piece on its like disclosure point. It felt like a very much disclosure campaigned event, to where the media could cover it. They were delivering a message. It had importance. Media, different news outlets covered it. There were a lot of people there. There was just a lot of excitement to it in the community. I think it went well. But the sentient plasmoid,
like sentient plasmoid life, but there are several.
Yeah, the sentient plasmoid life is good. And one of the things on UFO Twitter Week that we're going to have is some speakers talk about that. So I'm excited to really get into some of the plasmoid stuff and the plasma stuff. Look, the real question that came about for me with the whole thing, look, is Trump going to respond to this? President Trump, I just don't think he's going to respond to any of this. For him to write an executive order giving whistleblower protection, I could see that happening. I could see sort of like that making it in, but I don't see this announcement or this like reveal of the information that he's going to do in some sort of way. I just don't see really that going down, because I don't see his interest being that strong this whole way through of the topic and being the person to do that. The only way I could see it is like if you would have somebody else could be the disclosure person, and we're like taking the spotlight away. He would maybe be involved in that fashion. But
some little punk in a man bun tells me the president's on a need to know basis. When I'm sitting in
let me just say real quick, I watched this whole thing with my son. We were driving, and I just was watching it again. And I watched, so he's like in the car, he's like just chilling. This is like a drive to like his baseball practice or something. And I'm playing this in the background. And the whole way through, he's not saying anything, right? Like he's just chilling. As soon as Burchett gets on the mic, he's dying. Like, he's like engaged. He was dying laughing at Burchett. He's like laughing and like, who's this guy? Like, I like this guy and what he's saying. So I thought it was funny that like Burchett instantly, like my son was like, didn't care about anybody who was talking the whole time. And then Burchett gets on the mic and he's like, I like Burchett. I thought that was funny.
When I'm sitting in a skiff and some little punk in a man bun tells me the president's on a need-to-know basis, folks, that ought to tell you right there what we're up against. We're up against corruption. We're up against a cover-up. This thing's been covered up at least since 1947.
Yeah, Burchett's got he's got the lines though. You know, he goes to the man bun, the guy who's Tim Gallaudet who told him this is real. Then it's not about the aliens, it's about the secret access programs. You know, the alien bases and the stuff traveling 200 knots underwater. I can go through his like go-to top 5. But he's charismatic. I think he can get people on board with the message just because he can deliver it in a way that's kind of like, you know, people can just relate to. Let me see the bipedal. This quote is just. It's
corporeal, bipedal. Certainly don't have the compendium. It's a continuum from corporeal, bipedal. Certainly don't have the compendium. It's a continuum from corporeal, bipedal. Certainly don't have the compendium. It's a continuum from corporeal, bipedal. Certainly don't have the compendium. It's a continuum from corporeal, bipedal.
I can't take that, man. It's just too much. All right. And then we got Ryan from Somewhere in the Skies shared the Australian files that Grusch referenced in Capitol Hill. So check that out on my X page. But so that was just that Tuesday. Okay. So Tuesday comes around. We got some more UFO Twitter Week stuff that came. And as we go through that week, okay, we've got, here's one of the things that I heard is a little bit of a criticism, which I didn't realize, you know, it kind of like puts things in perspective. There's 535 members of Congress, but only 5 showed up to the Grusch event. There might be a handful others that care about this topic, but that's still such a small amount. It seems like of the people that should be caring more about this. And that number just, it stands out when you look at it. 5 to 15 members of Congress actually care about the UFO UAP topic. That's you know, you gotta kind of acknowledge that, to be like, that is a challenge going forward to get more people in Congress. And I think, you know, if you go to the not necessarily the representatives themselves, like the staffers, man, like we got to do a campaign where we're going after the staffers, and we're just like, you know, addressing the staffers, educating them on the topic. Like, how can we get this in front of, you know, so-and-so, your representative or whatever, like to take this topic seriously, not necessarily about the alien stuff, about like just air safety and like, you know, taking that and UAPs and drones and all of this stuff seriously and making legislation and these UAP science stuff. I think there might be a good direction there. So, this Playboy article came out on Jeremy Corbell and Contact in the Desert. So I was at Contact in the Desert. I saw Jeremy Corbell there, just kind of going around. And this guy apparently was just hanging out with him for a little bit here and there, and just kind of like wrote not a good article about his experience. Which you can't really blame the guy. His experience was what it was. He seemed a little bit like more of the skeptical side of like critical. So, but it does like bring things around to just seeing the topic for what it is, and some of this, and like this celebrity stuff, and this like, you know, UFO entertainment system that's put into place here. And I think it's just very frustrating. Like, I think about people like Jacques Vallée is probably looking at this and like rolling his eyes a lot, and it's like, damn, man, like we just need to get down to the actual nitty gritty of the UFO topic, like moving the field forward. And, you know, a lot of this like sensationalism and like over the top stuff, I think can just like, we don't need that. And once you open the curtain, like once you open the curtain a little bit, like you see there's people who definitely are moving in different lanes. Like it's not all a cohesive thing. One of the main things that I always hear in some of these spaces is like, why can't everybody just get along? Like in the UFO talk, like it's not going to happen. Everybody's not going to get along in the topic. And you can see that on a bigger scale with a lot of these guys that they just don't support each other like that. Like prime example. And again, like I'm at the end of the day, I'm still a supporter of all these guys, but you don't see someone like Corbell supporting the Grusch thing. You know, you didn't really see that. Or even like a Elizondo supporting the Grusch thing. Like they're not out here like really, really supporting it like that. And I think that there's still a little bit of tension there between some of these things, because to me at the end of the day, and even Ross Coulthard has mentioned, this is like kind of like a competition, you know, even like a journalistic competition where not everybody wants to like share the story. You know, there's people who want to be the guy who breaks the story, no doubt. Like that's kind of what journalism is about, is breaking the story and being the guy that like brings a lot of the information out. And you even I've seen this in the sci field of like the consciousness stuff of like being the guy who discovers consciousness and all of this. Like there's an aspect of that I think people don't understand that is kind of going on under the surface of this. That might be just a fuel motivator. All right, so I'm going into Disclosure Day on Friday because I got my tickets on Friday. And, you know, I'm like, let me just book my spot. Let me get a good seat, go with my friend and my son. And we're going to like get some good seats and, you know, plan the whole thing out. And then, you know, get the tickets. And then all of a sudden, like Wednesday and Thursday, there's ways to see it. I'm like, dang, I could have been seeing it this whole time. And so now people are watching it on Wednesday and Thursday and are posting about it online. And I'm like, all right, I got to avoid spoilers for basically 2 days online so I can see this. So I went ahead. Oh, there's my alien thing. You know, I got this. There it is. So I got this review that I did for Disclosure Day. And again, Chris Kumo is like, we got people reacting now. Ontological shock. I don't know how to deal with what David Grusch said. Like you've only been covering the topic for what, like a couple years now, but you don't know how to deal with what David Grusch said in a press conference. Like we don't need to do this. We need to go. People don't need to go over the top. When we see the footage of this, when David Grusch shares the picture of the back engineer craft and the alien biologics, then you can do the selfie breakdown ontological shock video where you're like, I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know what to do with my life. But you don't need to do all that right now. Okay. We don't need that. We don't need that yet. Okay. Just save that. Put that in the back pocket for right now. All right. So Dean Radin was on Joe Rogan. I'm a big fan of Dean Radin. I think he's one of the smartest people coming up in the topics, especially in consciousness. Hopefully he gets involved in the UFO topic more. We'll see. More UFO Twitter week stuff. Again, I saw Disclosure Day. I had so I wake up and I'm going to Disclosure Day. I've got an early morning 11 o'clock. So I'm trying to see the Disclosure Day as like first you can. I'm like, okay, Friday it comes out. I'm seeing it the first showing. I'm going to be able to review it, thinking like, okay, it's going to be great. I wake up to get Disclosure Day and the UFO Files have come out. There's the UFO Files drop number 3. So the tranche number 3 of the UFO Files come out. There's 6 videos. Okay, so there's 6 videos that have dropped and a bunch of files. I haven't honestly even gone through the files yet, like I normally have gone through the other 2. So the files come out. There's this fireball video that you guys are seeing right now that kind of like splits in 2. There's just kind of gets blurry, again splits off. And this one was a little bit more orb oriented, so orb focused, which is still cool. It's cool to see, like, but it just seems so random. Like there's just random videos that are thrown in there, and we're just seeing a lot of them. Honestly, reminded me of Chris Bledsoe's videos, what we see from Bledsoe and the stuff that we see there. So it's tough because again, there's no additional data or information that we get with these. So another one, this one's kind of interesting, especially in the beginning when you see the triangle. So there's like a set of orbs there, and then it like gets this like triangle shape. Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. It's hard to get some context of what exactly, how far it is away, any kind of information about the craft. All that was said was like, these are credible witnesses. Another one that's these two orbs. And this one, I think, got the most feedback online of like, these are lanterns. And I could see that. Like, I could see that they're Chinese lanterns or lanterns. Like, I can't argue against that right now, just because there's so much lack of information that a prosaic one that has been filmed hundreds of times, that has been explained off as Chinese lanterns, is very comparable to this. So it's tough when you don't give the full context or data or information about this, that it's easily explained away. And I think if you look at that, you can do that. This is the case that was the glowing orb. Federal law enforcement agent witnessed a glowing orb, national security site. There was a lot of documents related to this case. So this case seemed to be a little bit more important. This seems like, okay, there's files within the UFO tranche that seem a little bit more important than all the others. There's some that are just like thrown in there that are like 1953 newspaper clippings, and then there's like 8 files that all pertain to a certain case that have 8 other files that have artist interpretations. And this is one of those cases where there was a large document on different instances of orbs, these like red orbs that come down, they split apart, and they do these different aerial, they're like aerial maneuvers and phenomenon that are happening. They're anomalies that are happening in front of these guys that are watching all of this stuff together. So this is an important case to me that is highlighted within the UFO files that we should, again, pay a little bit more attention to. And whether there's these like green fireballs that last time that Burleson was trying to point out, or these cases like these, I think have a little bit more credibility. So it would be interesting to see like how anything like this would proceed forward. Like, we have the information now, but like what do we do with it? I don't know what to do. I was right. The disclosure day drops the same day the UFO files do. So, we got it. And here is my review on disclosure day, which I've started to come around a little bit, I think, to disclosure day. I've changed my tune a little bit, I think, on it. I first initially gave it a 4 out of 10. It's probably somewhere around a 5.5 now. It's just still not a great rating for the movie, but what brought it down off the bat was, I think, that in part it was my fault because I saw too much of the trailers. Like, I hunted down these trailers and was like trying to be the first one to be like, look at this, I got a copyright strike on my Twitter page because I showed a screenshot of the alien technology when they're first coming down on the face, and you see like on top of the girl the like circle of the alien technology, and I shared that and got copyright strike because I was like, this scene looks awesome. And so I think everything in the and even the scene where the deer turns into the alien, I'm like, man, that's such a cool scene. Why would you reveal that in the trailer? And as I'm watching it, I'm thinking that. But just all of the different scenes that got a reaction from people, the marketing was so good that it was like too good. And I think if I take away me seeing all of that before the movie, it would probably improve the score for me overall. But I still struggled with the storyline, the plot, the little delivery of it all, and a lot of things along the way that I think distracted from the overall like message. All right, so we get into today. So we'll go all the way up into today. Avi Loeb says the White House. Arrow ODNI, FBI, members of the intelligence community have tasked him with forming a UAP Scientific Advisory Council. So he's doing a council that's going to do UAP, and let me see some of the other people involved. I posted it up here. Let me see. Because I posted a lot about this. I think this is going to be an interesting development here with this UAP Scientific Advisory Council. So we've got a lot of people who I haven't heard of actually who are going to be involved, which I think is good. I think this is going to be really good, that if we're really approaching this scientifically and going through and bringing in people who are in, you know, experts in their different fields, we're not going to have a lot of people in the UFO topic that should be involved in this because, you know, it's very limited. So there are people like Gary Nolan, Tim Gallaudet, Peter Scoffish, and Michael Shermer that are all sort of involved in the UFO topic. But other than that, I don't think there are many people other than Avi Loeb, who's organizing all of this, that are too much involved in like the UFO, you know, I say ufology part because I feel like the UAP science is going to be treated a little bit differently than than whistleblowers and disclosure. Like UAP science is separate to me than UFO disclosure, because UFO disclosure is driven on getting the information out of the government. UAP and UFO science is driven on using the evidence and the data to show that, you know, there's a real phenomenon happening and taking place through the evidence. So both are I feel like the UFO disclosure one is getting a lot more attention. There needs to be more work in the UAP UFO science one. So it's good that we're getting something like this, to me, of even someone, you know, I think there's a lot of feedback on Michael Shermer coming into this as being a skeptic. Look, there's of 12 people or 10 people, one of the people are skeptic and people are having like a little bit of an outrage about it. Like, look, we need skeptical people in this. We need the balance of having people who are skeptical. If it's a scientific thing, these guys should all be skeptical coming into this. If it's going to be evidence and data driven, it's going to be tough for these guys to prove anything. And I think that's going to be evident, and I think really disappointing for people really is they're like, oh, we've got Tim Gallaudet, we've got Gary Nolan, but if you're still driving the point of the whole investigation that you're doing scientifically, it's going to be limited. They're not going to be like, oh, aliens are real. Yeah, like we've got non-human intelligence battling it out there and all this stuff. If Avi Loeb is like, I've been doing the Galileo project for 4 years and haven't found any evidence of extraterrestrial life, you know, he's not going to come out and just start saying all of these claims of disclosure and stuff. They're going to have to be like scientifically driven by their group, which is a good thing. They're going to have to just be very grounded in their sort of, you know, their conclusions and the things that they're coming out with. So we'll see. I'm excited to see how that shapes up and what's going on with it. But all in all, crazy week for disclosure. I've got a lot of stuff coming up. We got UFO Twitter Week coming up. Really appreciate everybody for supporting the channel. Like and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get my YouTube going, just coming up with a bunch of ideas for videos, stuff like that. I thought this week was really important with everything that was going on. Just seemed incredibly busy for the topic. Really loved hosting different spaces and just talking with everybody, responding to the comments. So keep all the comments coming. I'm going to go through a lot more of the comments on my Twitter and X page. So I really like, just going through the feedback of different things that I've been posting and seeing people involved in a lot of the thoughts that I have as well. So appreciate everybody for coming by. Happy Disclosure Week. We're going to keep it going, keep it rolling. Peace, guys.